Let's work on Kesagatami a little bit. Kesagatami that way. And the Kesagatami we want to use is with an underhook. I don't want to hold just the head here. I'm going to make sure that I have an underhook. I can grip the lapel or the shoulder if it's no gi, trap the elbow, and pinch the wrist in the armpit. It's important that I'm lifting this shoulder up. If she's gonna turn on her side and shrimp, she needs to pull this shoulder underneath her. So I'll be lifting that, and I like to put my knee right underneath it, okay? This foot's here to drive onto her. This foot here, like straight out, so when they bridge, I have posts, some resistance, and my elbow is my post over here. That being said, to make more pressure, I want everything off the mat that I can, right? And I did everything except for my elbow over here because I don't want to put a ton of pressure, but if I lift that elbow also, it's going to be even more pressure. It takes 8 pounds of pressure to break a rib. So from here, this is where everything starts. We need to make them uncomfortable and have this good pin here. From here, there's a lot of stuff we can do. We talked about mousetrap, so there's always that. That's when we went for the key lock, the straight arm bar, and the Kimura over here. So we won't do that today. There's a bunch of other stuff we can do there. So one of the first things I'll usually try for, if I'm not going mousetrap, is I bring my body down a little bit towards their hips, and that's so I can step over the head. I'm gonna keep the wrist trapped in the armpit and lean and step over the head here. If I put my hand against my thigh and roll my elbow back so it's tight, and then a little bit of a bridge, and you're gonna get the break there. She already tapped just from tightening up my elbow. This hand wouldn't be like that. What would you do? Frame, right? Not there because it gets crunched. So from Kesagatami, I settle back towards the hip a little bit, mainly because I'm not flexible just to throw my leg over. So I adjust my body so I can step over. From here is rolling the elbow back is going to get the arm bar. Okay, so that's the first one. You could actually try that with a dummy if you want. Let's see, Arsenio, you got your dummy working? Hanky panky.
You know what? I could do that one, huh?
Yeah, you could do it. You could try that.
Sweet. Yeah.
One.
And I appreciate using her first name, Christina. Okay.
Christina.
And you change your name again, Hank Ipo? Se llama el hijo de Juan.
Lucas.
Hey guys.
Yeah, this guy.
All right, we're gonna do it.
Who said hey?
We're training. Okay. Sorry, Coach. I was in the middle of setting up. So we're lifting. You're lifting the shoulder closest to you and sliding your leg up underneath it, lifting her, getting your knee underneath her shoulder. Correct?
I'm gonna step over the head. Let's watch Arsenio see if he does it right.
So we get.
He doesn't have the wrist because the guy doesn't have a wrist, but that would be
Yeah.
a armpit.
So it's kind of hard. But
Yep.
here.
Now you kind of lean over the hip a little.
Yeah.
Step over the
Step
head.
over. Keep holding this.
Yep. Step over the head and drag your heel into the neck area where it
Don't let
meets.
go of the hand.
Drag the
Yeah.
heel into the neck area where it meets the shoulder.
Right here.
Yeah. And you'll still be laying on them. You don't want to actually raise up too far. So your hip is still going to be down on their hip.
Oh, so like this.
Like that, yeah.
Holy cow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, now I see what you mean about not being flexible.
Right. So the more towards the hips you are, the easier it's going to be to step over. Right. Now, obviously, you can go too far. If I go too far towards the legs, they just do a sit up, and now they have Keisagatami on me. Right. So you don't want to go too far.
Let's see if I can pull the pool noodle through.
Yeah.
Give me more of an arm.
Ponle una toalla. Put a towel.
Now I have a pool noodle in here, so. More of an arm. So I noticed on the other side, you had an underhook over here as well,
Yeah.
correct?
Yep. Yep.
So here. Hit back. And it's doesn't matter, don't be nice, just
Right. Just take a big step. There you
hit
go.
over.
Drag your heel into the neck.
And then,
Yep.
then just lean back.
Yeah. That's it.
That's hard. Can you do it one more time?
Yeah.
So I can see the step again.
Can you
You made it look a lot easier.
Because hold on, because Juan changed the camera. Are you able
Okay.
to see if I can see you, or is there something you got to do to be able to see?
Open it up.
Oh, hold on, he's muted too.
Can you spotlight your video, Brian?
Yeah, okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Say it again.
I was asking if you're able to see me.
Yes, I see you. I see you perfect.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna do it again. Same position. So underhook, that's the first thing. Overhook, shoot the knee under the shoulder. This foot stays here, and this foot's out, because if she bridges, that's gonna be my resistance there. Now, I wanna step over the head. So what I do is I adjust a little towards the hips, and now I can step over the head. This hand goes against my thigh, my elbow goes back, and then from that position, move up a little and roll my shoulder back at the same time.
Shoulder to shoulder level, right?
Just
There.
You can get that. Once you get decided for yes.
One more time.
So I'm here. The only time the feet cross each other is when you're stepping over. Correct?
right.
Does that look right?
Yeah.
Yeah, still on my elbow.
Okay.
I think you need to get your closer. Try to do your closer.
Yeah. Make sure you don't lose the wrist when you're stepping over.
So you have.
Yeah.
So are you sliding up to the wrist, or are you holding the elbow still?
Just keep it where it is.
Keep it,
Yeah, just keep it like that.
Down here.
Yeah.
So,
No, under. You want to get this knee here. This knee, lift this up.
right.
Lift this up. You want to get this up under here, like this.
So
Get that knee out. Get this up under here. Get this hand underneath me.
this.
Wait, what hand?
This under, this under. Go back. Go back.
If I stay like on this part of her, then for me to step over, it's a little difficult.
Yeah, okay, so my knees.
Now, if I go over her, now it's easier to step over.
Yeah, you see his belly?
So my body weight's about equal on both, like spread across. So I don't just stay, if I just stay way over here, my center's here, now it's harder to step over. But if I get up, now I can step over easier. So you might be too far on your side of the dummy.
I do what you're doing. Yeah.
You want to get that too close or no? Okay, hold on. Start at the beginning. Get this knee underneath my shoulder here. Right. Underneath my shoulder. Underneath your shoulder. Okay. Now get closer here. Now.
It was easier? Yeah.
Way easier. Okay.
Oh, yes.
So it's just a matter of, yeah. As long as you don't put yourself too far over.
Yeah.
I see where it is. Yeah, if I go lean back,
I'm going to roll you back. I'm going to roll you back.
So now we're going to stay on the idea of double attacks and chaining attacks. So try to keep in line with that concepts that we've been. So this time, yeah. So we're in the same position from here, and I'm going to step over the head, but it's not really required, but we're combining stuff, right? I'm trying to create a double attack. So rather than just going for one thing, I'm going to act like I'm going for this, right? So I step over, and maybe her arm gets out, maybe it doesn't, right? But what I'm going to do is I'm not going to attack this arm. That's what she thinks. I'm actually going to line up my forearm right against the elbow here, and I pinch the wrist with my ear. Now I lock up, and I pull that towards my sternum, and I get a reverse armbar here. So we have this position in Keisugatami. Nothing changes. I step over, and now the fake. I'm actually pinching my wrist against this, or my ear against this wrist, finding the elbow joint with my wrist radial bone, using the grip, go towards me. I get the reverse armbar on the opposite side.
Can you do it one more time, Brian? I'm sorry.
Say it again.
Would you be able to do it one more time?
Let's see it one more.
Yeah. I'm not aware. Sorry, Rita.
So, Keisugatami,
Right?
I step over, that's the fake. Pinch the wrist with my ear,
Oh,
and the elbow, reverse armbar.
yeah.
so even if the frame,
Yeah, so instead of the frame, put your head, move the hand with your head. So it's on your other side.
it's got to go this side.
Your right ear. Your hand will be by your right ear. Yeah. The other ear.
Right.
Reverse.
Yeah.
Wait, here.
Tap. Is that correct, Coach?
Pinch the arm.
No, your wrist is not by his elbow. There you go.
It's right on his elbow there.
There you go. Pull that.
You go underneath the elbow. Like, okay.
There.
You're pretty much hugging the arm, right?
Yeah.
You're bringing the arm across the neck here.
Yes.
Try.
Right, it's, so I'm gonna come this way, right? Are you struggle?
Hold your own hand, Lucas.
What happened?
Your hand. You gotta bring it. Do you see the hand that is closest to you?
So this is the grip that we use. So you're gonna use his wrist bone, goes against his elbow joint, right?
Right.
Grip we're gonna use is our palms. Our thumb is next to our fingers, palm to palm, and then
Yep.
we close our grip. And so that grip, the hand that's gripping and is helping the hand that's using the wrist bone on the elbow,
The other way.
and not the other way around.
Oh, this way?
Yep. There.
Underhand.
Squeeze this leg.
So thumb towards you, and then switch your right hand underneath.
The right hand underneath?
Yeah, switch your grip around. Put the other hand on top. So it froze, but your right hand should be palm up, and the cutting bone should.
The right hand palm up, right?
Yes, you got it now. Yep, that's the way.
And it seems like you want to curl that leg back to pull the neck, bring the neck. Is that correct? At the same time.
When I go for a submission, I'm looking for hyperextension on the elbow, right? That's straight armbar, right? So when I go for a submission, all my focus is on doing that to the elbow, right? I don't care about the neck. I don't care about the leg. I don't care if he can breathe good or not. All my 100% focus is on the elbow. So for an example, we have the near side armbar set up, right? I technically could armbar both arms at the same time, but am I going to do that? No. I'm going to focus on one of those submissions 100% if I can get to that. Does that make sense? I don't want to hurt her neck if I don't need to, right? If I focus on hurting the neck while I reverse armbar, then my reverse armbar is not going to be as good, right? If I want to hurt the neck, I might as well go for the neck attack, right? And focus on that 100%. That makes sense. At least that's my theory, right? So my theory is to, if I'm going for a double armbar, for example, that's an actual move. If I go for a double armbar, I actually don't armbar both arms. I switch one of them that I think is in a worse position, and I just armbar that one, even though I'm doing a double armbar, right? That's how much I think. So yeah, the heel could bother the neck a bit, but I'm not focusing on it, right? It might hurt, it might bother her, but I'm not trying to increase any pain more than I need to. Just trying to keep position. Let's go into another scenario with the same move, okay? I think we need to move this way first. So, okay, let's say, I'm going to later. So let's say I'm in this position here, and I go for a step over here for the armbar. Maybe I'm setting up the reverse armbar. Whatever happens here, that she gets her arm loose and even pulls it out, right? So now it's out. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go from behind, I'm gonna pick up, and I'm gonna scoop her head, okay? I can do a roll, I don't even need to, but I'm setting up a triangle here. Right? Because her arm and her neck are in there. What? Can you guys see that? So I'm stepping
Again.
over.
Yeah.
But I didn't keep the wrist good. She pulled her arm out so it wouldn't get armbarred. So now I reach behind and pick it up, lifting her head and shoulder and scooping that up. I just want to cross my feet here. Okay. From here, she might try to roll me it on top. I might be able to stay on top. I'm just looking to lock up the triangle here. Okay? Does that make sense? One more time.
Try it.
Well, that's a triangle.
Can you guys see?
It's a triangle where he's on top of it instead of below.
Oh.
All right, so one more time.
She gets out her arm up.
I stepped over. She takes her arm out. So there's no more arm bar there. I want to keep it in, so I hold it, scooping her up and scooping her head and everything. Just cross your feet here. I can roll. Basically, it's basically an
Can you turn 90 degrees to the camera so I can see the other arm?
the other arm is out of the picture.
You need the arm that is between the legs.
Here. So scoop. So you let go.
Step over, the arm came out, pick it up.
Give me that underneath my head.
I don't have much room to roll, so
That's right. Well, you can
it's
do
not
it
easy.
from there, right? So if you reach back with your left hand and your arm, and you just squeeze your triangle, that's enough to choke them.
that's enough right there.
Right. The thing is, you don't have any posts, so that's why I mentioned they might roll you. And then
Okay.
do it from your back. Right.
So scenario is they push you over,
Right. They would push
Or-
you that way,
you
and then
roll.
you would just triangle them right there. So you just tighten up the triangle. Remember the triangle. The triangle is going to be your ankle. If it's out here, it's more like a scissor. That's not going to be enough to squeeze the shoulder. Right. So we want to lock the ankle and under our knee, right under.
Okay, so here, scoop back. So just simulating, they got it out, and I was able to step over.
Yeah.
Right.
So now reach back and pull that arm. That's going to keep them nice and tight. And now you get that right foot under your knee. And then bend that left leg. There's your triangle,
Right
right?
here.
And it's the same thing if you're on your back.
So we roll.
Yep. You want to keep pulling that arm if possible.
Okay.
Because once you lose it, it's going to be harder to reach.
Okay.
Yeah. But you can still triangle them, but it's much more efficient with the arm getting pulled.
Pulling that arm.
Yeah. Yeah.
He won't give me the arm.
All right. So what time is it?
Sorry, I missed that whole thing. I had to take a call. I did some ninjutsu. Yeah, I'm just gonna watch Arsenio do it because I know he's gonna do it perfectly.
There you go.
Yeah. It's a smoke bomb. Ninja stars. That's about where I'm at right now. All right. So, case of Gatami. Right, same thing. Their arm gets out, apparently. Beautiful. As you step over,
Yep.
pull up
Good.
on the arm, get your leg under,
Tighten the triangle. You could tap.
tighten the triangle. Now, if you get rolled, I don't have a lot of room to roll, so it's not a pretty roll. I see. Okay, I see it.
And you can finish it. Good.
Nicely done, Arsenio. Yeah, zero resistance. That'll be like rolling with me then.
And then we can see.
Just a quick note. I've been watching the videos, and I can see how our economy is doing, because as we go,
my phone rings more and more. I've got 4 phone calls while we've been here.
Awesome.
The economy's starting to pick up.
There you go.
Well, heck, everybody got their checks.
Exactly.
That's what
I didn't get
Weird.
One left.
No, he's right. You can see.
That was wrong.
He keeps turning it off for some
There you go.
All right.
You gonna do
Here,
it?
turn this.
Now,
Now turn the volume up.
So Coach, one thing I noticed is you step up with that back leg. Is that a better?
All the way up.
Here's
Turn
the
it up on that one.
step up with the back leg. Is it better for what?
Kesatami? I don't know how to pronounce it. Kesatami?
Tommy?
Is that why you're mumbling it, like with your hand?
Exactly. Is that because I'm used to like just flattening out?
Okay.
Is it better to be in this position here?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So here's the thing. For her to get away from a Keisugatami, she needs to face me and shrimp, right? So she pulls her elbow, she turns sideways, now she shrimps. And now she can do whatever escapes, replace guard, get up, right? And we end up something like that. So the first thing she needs to do is pull this side underneath. Yeah. So go back. All the way. So now, if I just pick this up, now do it. Good. See, she had to get that loose. Okay. Let's go back. So that's why my position is lifting that and putting my knee under. Now do it. Yeah. Yeah. And judo guys are very good at keeping the position. Wrestlers too.
So this one here is going to be lifting and under the knee.
Yes, that's the start position.
Try one.
And you want to get good at keeping somebody there and not letting them move. Don't think of it as stalling yet. Right now you're learning a position. You want
Right.
to try to keep people there.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
So you get here. So if you can get like, you see, I mean, with the dummy, I'm like really like high underneath the elbow or the
It's okay.
armpit.
Yeah, you want to be
That's
up in their armpits.
You can be at that high.
Yeah.
Okay.
I only move back to be able to step over.
To step over. So you
Yeah.
get here and hold this. Okay.
Right. Oh, even if you're
Let's
a lot bigger, you wouldn't be able to get out of that. Especially if I have control of this arm. Right. Yeah.
Let's step over.
Coach,
Yeah.
can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you show Lucas the judo throw that actually
Keep them.
There's a bunch of them, actually. There's a bunch of throws that land you in that position. Do you know which? I could show a hip throw. A hip throw lands you there. I mean, there's a ton of them.
Yeah, where you're not going down.
The one he knows is hip throw.
Hip throw.
Am I saying that correctly?
I can't hear because it's like getting all robotic sounds and everything. You're real choppy.
Okay, I'm sorry.
This,
Is this
I think
better?
I figured it out, man. Decepticons. That's where he lives, man. He lives on Ultron. He lives on Ultron, man. He's dealing with the Decepticons. That's why he needs to know all this stuff.
A hip throw puts you there, right?
Wait, hold on. I think what's happening is you're getting feedback.
Okay, can you hear me now, Coach?
Yes.
Okay. I was trying to explain to Lucas the hip throw that basically allows you to end up in that position.
Why would you end up there? I mean, you could just go there, right? If you have attacks from somewhere, like why would we be in mount? Because we know it's a good position, right? And so we go there. Why would someone, right? We can make positions happen because we know they're good. Sometimes you accidentally end up places like, why do we do guard? Not because necessarily because it's good, but because it's the best defense we have when we're on our back, right? So we find ourselves on our back, and then we create a guard position to protect ourselves. So there's multiple reasons that we could end up in Keisugatami. If I did a hip throw, I could do a hip throw because I think it's a good takedown. I could do a hip throw because it's going to put me in Keisugatami, and I know I have good weapons there, right? There's a bunch of reasons. I could put someone in Keisugatami because they had me in it and I escaped, right? And that put me in Keisugatami. So it was a position from judo and wrestling. You know, they have it as a pinning position. It's a way to hold somebody down without hurting them. You can put a lot of pressure, but it was a way to. I heard a story that they used it when they had to arrest like royalty, and they didn't want to hurt the royalty, right? And so they would hold them in that position until they could get some more people to help. I don't know how true that is, but that's a story I heard, right? So there's a lot of reasons that you might use it. A hip throw, we'll do it real quick. So a lot of times we show the hip throw in class that we stay standing, right? So we show it like I get my underhook, or maybe I have a lapel. I like using underhooks a lot, and I hip through and I throw, but I stay standing, right? But we don't have to stay standing. I can go down with them. In fact, I recommend that. Over here, I go in from a hip throw, and then I keep this upper body positioning, landing right here. And I did a little delayed so I wouldn't just land all my weight on it. But then we end up right here, right? And I could go straight into the attacks, right? Right into the attacks. A lateral drop is kind of why we're discussing this position right now, is because a lateral drop would put us in the same position, right? So there's a lot of reasons we would end up there. And it's just like, if that's part of the game you want to play or not. Some people don't like it. Some people like a normal side control, right? So I might have normal side control, head that way, which is like right here, or here, or here. But maybe I don't like that. Maybe I prefer Keisugatami, and I make that switch, right? So a lot of reasons you might end up there. I'm going to show 2 chokes from Keisugatami that I like to do. You can technically do them from side control, but I'll show it from Keisugatami. Let's start on this side. So this is going to look similar to the armbar, except we're not going to armbar. In fact, I'm going to put my knee over her arm, put my other foot across, windshield wipe my feet, and now this leg is free, but her arm is trapped. My thumb is in the collar right by the spine. I don't want to go too far on this. I want my thumb right in the middle where the tag is. Then I go here like I'm going to reverse armbar. Remember the double attacks, but I'm going to step over, drag my foot, and now I push my wrist into the neck as I lean forward just a little bit. I don't want to go too far because I'll get rolled. We can do things after that, but I prefer not to get rolled if that's not my idea, right? So we're here. I just push up the wrist, roll my knee over. I can put my thumb in the collar here because I'm not going to use my hand anymore. And I windshield wipe my foot over my other foot. Take my foot out, and now I'm ready to go. Reverse armbar, that's so she can't use her arm to defend. I'm not really attacking it, I'm just keeping it trapped. Take my big step, drag it, now use my wrist bone, and then forward to get the choke. That's the first one. Let's try that out.
Choke him a choke there.
Oops. It's in the collar.
Yeah.
Yeah, get the guitar.
Go grab it.
Yeah.
So start here.
Yep. So now,
Then you,
yeah, now you're gonna push his arm down and you're gonna slide your knee over it, all the way over. Yep.
so we're here.
Now put your thumb in the collar and switch your feet.
Now that's in this outside, too close.
I can see.
Now it's this,
It's gonna be your left thumb in the collar
so it'll be this one.
on your side. Yep.
So, oh, okay. So that's a little sneakier, easy to get in there.
Yeah, it's easy.
So you get there. Now, windshield wipe,
And then step over.
step over.
Good. And now you can lean too far, so don't lean too far. Just lean forward a little bit and just put your wrist bone into the neck. That's it, right? And so heel is dragged into the neck. So the
So
back
that top,
of your Achilles is on one side and our wrist bone's choking the other.
so that foot is just planted, essentially just keeping that head
More
from
of an
moving.
anchor, right?
Okay.
And that's why you move out.
So this one, we're kind of going up to side mount,
Yeah,
or
a little
side
bit.
control.
A little bit, yeah.
So from here to here, here.
There?
Yeah.
Is this correct, Coach?
Looks like it. Don't lean over too far though.
So a little higher on his body.
You don't want to be over his body, is what I'm trying to say. Yeah. But remember to keep weight on him. Right?
So here.
Yeah.
I think it's tapping.
Yeah, you're getting some taps there.
I gotta remember that my ducking taps. You wanna try it?
Here, take this one.
So, Coach, you go straight into that? The knee over the arm?
Yeah,
So, like when you
I do that a lot.
So when you hip up, it's straight from this control to push it down.
Exactly. I'll go straight from that Kesagatami. I'll put my thumb in the bicep near the elbow, and I just start pushing it down and switch to side control. And so that leg comes right over.
So here, and then from here you can kind of, I know we don't want to hang out, but
Right.
this one, figure out what you, okay, take your
Yeah,
time,
he has
switch it
take
over.
some
That's your
time
break
to
time.
scoop up his other arm, right? So that way
Yeah.
he can't use it to defend. There you go.
Yeah, no, I want to trap it.
And you can step over and use your forearm. There you go.
Yeah. Yeah, so I know how to pass it over to the other foot.
You gotta get on that one.
So you gotta get here.
No, you want it on this part right here.
So windshield
No,
wipe.
not the other. Okay, get up, hold on.
So wait, I want to get, what do I do with this arm? What do I do with this? Do I want to grab this side, right?
This arm you wanna keep, like if you're gonna, here.
Now that the windshield wiping your feet, you're over top of your own foot, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you got to pull your other foot out from underneath.
Yeah, I'll show you just from the back.
I just want to make sure.
So I go here, here,
You're
I go here.
you're good.
I can go the other way too.
But you're too far that way.
Okay.
Right.
Yep.
I put it over enough that it won't come out. She won't get it loose when I switch.
Right. But you're, yeah.
Yeah, I can tell that.
So you're actually, but you're lifting your foot a little bit, right? So you
A
can,
little bit. Yeah.
so you can get it through easier. Okay.
Yep.
So you're not fighting yourself,
Correct.
but just keep that control.
Yeah.
And here, keep this up here.
Good. All right, guys, I'm going to show the next one because it's a little more tricky, and I want to make sure we have enough time. It's based on this first one. It's actually a choke that I developed, and I don't think I've shown it in class much at all, okay? So, head
Gonna turn off record.
I should turn off the cord, but I'm not going to. Okay.
Please.
That's good. I'll walk with it. So we're gonna start the same way. I push the arm down, right? Right then, that's when I can put my thumb in the collar. So right now my thumb is in the collar. I still tie up this arm because I'm going for the first choke. And I switch my feet, and now I'm ready to step over. Right? So I take my big step, and I'm going for the choke. But sometimes it just doesn't line up right, and it's not working, right? So now what I'm gonna do is I take my thumb out, I turn it down, and I go 4 fingers in. So my 4 fingers are holding where my thumb was holding. And now I'm gonna switch to the other side of it. So I'm gonna put this knee down, come up. So I go here. When I do that, this hand is taking the gi out, okay? Now, what they do at this time, and it's the right thing to do, is she turns on her side facing me, and I take this lapel under her head. And now I have a baseball bat choke. So I'm gonna sit.
Sneaky bastard.
I do not like it.
So this one's dynamic. It needs the partner to move because you're basing it on their proper reaction, right? So, and the gi does not have to be out ahead of time. There is a moment in time where you got to get that out right, but it all flows, okay? Push the arm down, shin over, thumb in, right? I'm going for the first choke. I'm tying up this arm so it's harder for her to bend and switch my feet. I go to step over and drag, and I tap the choke. But if it's not working right away, I don't want to mess up and lose everything. So I switch, I put my 4 fingers in. Now I switch to the other side, opening the lapel. See how she's turning? She's already turning, and this hand goes under. So I take the lapel all the way under. And now I'm going to sit through into my baseball bat choke.
Ay,
You don't like it? Let's try that.
Hey, coach, I blinked.
please do not.
You blinked?
Sorry, I blinked.
Guys, do not blink. This one is not nice. Not a nice show.
Would you say this one is a good one for the streets?
This is good for
So get here.
Right. So at that point, if it's not working, Alex, you put your 4 fingers, thumb down.
Boy.
Now you switch sides. Put your left knee down, right knee up. That's where they start turning sideways, right? So you're gonna pass the lapel from under the arm. So his right lapel,
Right. So
right lapel, the one that's on top, all the way the other lapel, right? From in front.
Oh,
Watch my movement from a different angle. Ready, Alex?
and watch.
Okay. So, yeah, that works. So,
You step over.
from here, my thumb was in, and I stepped over, right? I switched my fingers. I can see the lapels here. So as I flipped over, I just open this. She's turning sideways. See how it's the way. And then I pass it under your head. Right? So it's the free one. The bottom one's going to be difficult to get in the first place. You don't need it.
And then where do you finish?
So then you finish with like a baseball slide and a baseball bat choke. Yes.
Okay.
So
That's
here.
And that gets really tight.
Yeah.
You can feel it, your neck crack.
Oh, so here. Set over. So
He said that not too deep. He said the tag.
now it's going to be the top lapel,
The top piece, yeah,
the top piece.
top piece. So
So,
turn sideways.
so I would simulate.
Yeah, simulate him turning sideways with
Right.
his arm reaching. So you're gonna press that top lapel under the armpit and under the neck.
Under this armpit?
Yeah, pass that under his whole arm.
Let him come to you.
So his arm won't be in the way. And then you
So-
pass, yeah, it'll be like reaching. And that goes under the neck too. Yep, a little further. And now that's when you sit through and your top arm is the one that's chopping
Look,
down.
and go sideways.
So I would sit through this way.
Come on,
Yep,
sideways.
just like that. Yep.
Need
You
a
see,
person.
back is in the mat. You gotta go
Who are you
sideways.
talking to?
The one.
Is this still right?
No, he's not sideways. He's flat.
Oh,
Go to your side, go low, and you slice in.
yeah, because the partner, the opponent's gonna receive you switching sides. They're gonna turn and right? And that's actually helping your choke.
Because when I move out,
Well,
it tightens. Yeah.
So as he rolls out, it kind of tightens.
Yeah.
Correct.
It happens when you do your baseball slide.
So what did I have wrong here? Like I had turn this way. I had it here, right? I turned this, I switched this.
Alex is reverse engineering.
Is this
Yeah.
correct?
That's right.
Got it backwards.
That's the first part, yeah. Now you gotta switch your thumb
Okay.
with your finger.
Oh, so the hands in the wrong position? I have fist down,
Fist,
you see?
fist
So I
down,
started
thumb down. That's how you
this
start.
here.
That's how you start, and then you switch
Yeah,
it.
you switch your four fingers in. This way, so it won't hurt me. And then
So when
switch
that,
it.
yeah, and then you switch it because it's not working. And then switch sides. When you switch sides, it's gonna face you. So now you pass the lapel. Don't fall.
See that?
Yeah, see,
And then go under his head too. Right. Now you do your baseball slide with the baseball bat choke. So you see how they would have to, it froze again, but you see how he would be facing, right? He would change his position. He's not going to keep laying flat. And then
Right.
when he faces, it actually gives the other side of the neck.
yeah, the more I turn away,
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. You're able to get that gi a little easier.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Is that correct?
Yeah, from what I saw, because your screen freezes a lot, but you got it, right? And Lucas has to turn sideways, and that actually gives you the choke that you're looking for.
Okay.
And there's not really a name for this one. I just call a wing choke because you're giving, it's like the wing of the gi is what you're using to choke them. So I just,
I think Rita left, right?
kind of. She's still here.
Okay, no, I don't want to bother her, but I wanted to remember, to make sure I was doing this right. From the same position, go ahead, lay down.
So here.
I see. Turn this way. Yeah. So, if I remember correctly, there was an arm bar that you showed me, like this.
Right?
But you have to put when you gotta stay close to his body. Yeah, your head has to be closest to his, yeah? The armbar you're talking about, right? And then the table.
Yes, the arm bar from this position. So I think you had one
You,
here.
your heel has to be closest to his, yeah. You're like, you're gonna scissor your legs.
There.
One,
Is that correct?
one knee will go down by the wrist and the other's behind the elbow.
Switch it.
I'll show it. I'll show it because I see some people paying attention. Yeah. Okay, so it's,
He's their arm is so easy. Boom, and you're in.
I'm gonna have really fucking strong joints after this shit.
Go back.
Go backwards.
can everyone look? Everyone seeing? Yep.
Yes.
So we're here. Basic Atami. And there's a couple options here. We'll just go over that one. So what I'm gonna do, my knee's under the shoulder. I reach back for the wrist. I don't wanna lean to get this. I just kind of slide up to get the wrist and I start pushing it down. Usually what we'll be doing is this way for like a block, which is a little harder because they tend to straighten it out. And so then what I do is I step over. But when I step over, I'm gonna use the behind my knee to pinch her wrist. I want to pinch her wrist right here, right at the thumb. Okay, so when I step over, I find the wrist, don't let it. I find the wrist and I bend it. Okay, and then my foot, I'm actually going to pull this close to my butt. I want to kind of stretch her arm out so I know that it's not going to move around. Now remember the knee, it was under the shoulder. I need it under the elbow. And now I reposition my knee behind her elbow. This inside of my knee, so like adductor, right? I'm gonna squeeze my knee up and this knee's gonna go down, okay? If I need to make sure her arm's not moving around, that it's more isolated, I usually just kind of shoulder here. That limits some of the extra movement. And then I scissor my knees. You see, it doesn't take a lot. I'm not like smashing these down. I'm just applying a little bit of pressure and I get it. She has marks on her skin from the wrinkles of the gi. That's how much I'm squeezing with my knee. I'm pinching the wrist. I don't want the wrist to rotate. Okay, if the wrist rotates, I lose the armbar.
Sideways. Okay, so. So he goes here, and I want to get that arm under here.
Step over. Now you find the wrist bone and you pinch it with your knee. Good, Alex.
We got here.
See, I see his whole forearm and wrist and everything. Yeah, you got to pinch it like that because you have to control it. Just like you would hold the wrist on a regular armbar with your hands, now your knee is your hand.
Yes, you get a little lower on the elbow.
Now, the reason we pull our foot close to our butt is because if I'm going to scissor my knees together and one's above the other, they're going to touch. I'm never going to hyperextend their arm. So this knee, if I was to put it all the way down, has to end up behind my other knee. So that's why I pull this here to my butt, so that way they don't.
Yes. So this knee has to.
You just squeeze the wrist.
I'm not going to get the extension.
Let me back.
Get closer to him. You are too far away too.
And if you just lean back, just sit up and get out, and then he'll do the move too.
Yeah.
Underhook his arm.
That's it, I'm out. You didn't squeeze the wrist.
You need an underhook one on the other side. Yeah. Remember, fundamental position. When we first started today, we went over Keisugatami position. We can't give up the fundamentals to go for a submission.
Right, guys, see you tomorrow.
Bye, Rita.
Have a good night. Be safe.
You got the key?
Yeah, like I feel it. You're not putting.
Gotta go.
Put your hand, put one of that hand on the shoulder. Yeah, I feel it.
Is this about right?
Like smash his shoulder with 500 pounds of pressure. It's just to keep him from raising his shoulder up. That's all you're trying to do. It's not going to make him tap. What's going to make him tap is moving your legs in the proper position. the first time I did it on Rita, I didn't push her shoulder and she tapped, right? So you don't need any pressure on the shoulder.
Oh, I see. By lifting this knee.
You're using both knees. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. By doing this to the knees.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Want to do it? Yeah. Be very careful, please. Because you tend to open harsh.
So, Coach, are you lifting your leg at all?
I'm lifting the bottom knee a little bit and
Well,
dropping.
to get the wrist. When you go, when you're here and you go to put it underneath your leg,
Take a big step over it.
just quick.
You find
Now,
the
slide that knee.
first we got to trap.
Slide it back towards the other.
And then,
Yeah, first we trap it, then we can find the wrist.
right, because we're here.
Yeah. If I try to go straight for the wrist and get that bite on the wrist, there's a chance I miss, hit the hand, and it slips out. Now
Right.
we plan, right?
So I'm just feeding my way up here,
Yep.
and then
Good. And then
Get
you
it
can
over.
find the wrist after because the arm is stuck.
well, the arm is stuck, so I don't need to do anything else there though.
Arm's stuck.
Once I got it.
So now you can. There's different ways to attack it. This is just one.
And then it's
Yeah.
arm bar.
Yep. Control the wrist and then move our knee and we finish. There's a
Do
good.
we still have?
There's a
you
key
still
lock
con-
with the legs there.
You still control the wrist after it's trapped under your arm,
So once
or
you
after it's trapped under your leg?
you're gonna control it with your knee. You're gonna pinch it.
Right. Right.
That's
But we don't have to use. This hand becomes free.
Yep. So it's a free hand. So that's why I say I'll
To
stabilize.
push on the shoulder. Stabilize the shoulder.
Yep. Because my hand.
So-
You always want to find something to do with your hands and your legs at all times, right? So that's the one
So
job
here-
they can do is just keep their shoulder down.
Right. So here, just creep up, throw it over, pinch, and bring it back towards your butt.
Yeah. And now with your right knee, make sure it's near where their elbow would be.
Yeah, I don't know.
It wouldn't be under the shoulder anymore. Slide it to wherever the elbow would be, and then
Slide back this way.
Yep.
And then.
there you go.
Smooth.
You broke it right there.
Yeah. I'm sorry.